A $12,000 profit off of a original $6,000 investment is the exact deal that Francis and I thought we were walking into. We were close to closing on a property we have already done business in. In fact, it was in the same subdivision of a property we had sold literally just 2 months back on the exact same road. However, one problem buried under the surface almost costed us thousands of dollars, and we had to walk away from this $12,000 profit deal. In this video, I'm just going to break down exactly what happened, how we caught this massive issue right before closing, and why this one call saved us from a very bad investment. If you guys don't know who I am Levi, co-owner of MMC Land with Francis, where we buy and sell vacant land parcels while also helping new land flippers get their first deal or helping more experienced land flippers get more deals with better strategies. So guys, in this subdivision, we've already done a deal in the area, and that latest deal we did, it was a 0.57 acre property, and we sold it on seller financing. So the contract value, it was $18,900, so about $19,000. After closing costs, we spent $5.1 thousand, so that was our initial investment. And the area was good. I mean, it wasn't the best area in terms of like the people living there, but it was rural. It wasn't too far out from a major city, and it also had very desirable lot sizes. Most lots were like half an acre and up. So when another parcel came along, and it is a 0.72 acre parcel, so bigger than the one we've already done business with, we had jumped on it, especially because it was on the exact same street, and we literally couldn't have a better comp because we just sold a property right there. On top of that, our seller accepted our offer of $5,000 and us paying for all closing costs. So it was pretty much almost exactly what we paid for the last parcel, except this parcel was almost like a quarter acre bigger. If you guys have watched me before, you guys know we aim for 3 to 5x returns on our investments minimum. So if we could sell this one for $18,000, it was a no-brainer. And based on comps and the finance deal that we had previously done that got us over $18,000, everything lined up, or so we thought. We've already learned in past deals that you don't want to wait until you have the property to see what the property looks like from a street view. Now, unfortunately, this subdivision doesn't offer Google Maps, and when we were down there, you're kind of only focused on your own parcel at the time. You're not really looking at other parcels down the street. So we don't really remember off the top of our heads what this part of the street looked like or what exactly parcel we were buying. So we had contacted a neighbor, and he actually lived right next door, so it was super convenient. But we got him to go take some pictures for us because we didn't want to go and book a flight, book a hotel, book a rental car just to find an issue with the property, when the whole time we could have just asked a neighbor to go look for us and saved us all that time and money if there is something wrong with it. So us talking to that neighbor saved us that entire trip and money we would have spent, and it revealed something that we never would have seen with any tool like Regrid, Landglide, or anything like that. So the deal breaker. The neighbor sent us pictures, and I'm gonna pop it up on the screen, but pretty close to the middle of the property, it looked like there was like a totally cleared like grass sort of road just running straight through the lot. He mentioned that some people use that as like a little road to travel throughout the subdivision, almost like a shortcut, but more importantly, there's an easement there. And it was a big easement. There's a huge gas line running straight through the property. And so essentially an easement, to explain it to like a 5th grader, is imagine you have a big backyard, and so your neighbor wants to put a small path through your backyard to help him get to his property faster for whatever the reason is. You still completely own your yard, and you can play in it or use it anytime, but your neighbor has special access to that part of your yard to get to his house faster or whatever the case may be. That special access that your neighbor has is now called an easement. So anytime that there is a major gas line easement, the county essentially has access directly to that part of your parcel, and you can't really say no to it even though you own the property. In some cases, gas line easements, the county can even go past way more than what that road just is. They may just only be using that road for now, but in some cases they can expand way more than that. You just never really know. Each easement is always a little bit different, and you can always ask the county, but honestly, we didn't even ask because that was enough of a deal breaker for us. And so why easements matter. So let's break it down. If you have a huge gas line easement running through your property, it doesn't just take up space, or it doesn't just take the fact that people can go there like whenever they want as like a road. It's sort of like a permanent right of way for like any utility company or the county to go in and do whatever they want to it. And so essentially, you might find that it's also very hard to install any sort of septic system because you don't know exactly what you're going to hit if you start digging nearby. On top of that, it might limit your actual square footage of the property that you can fully use to yourself without ever having to worry that the county might need to use it in the future. And so for anyone that wants to go buy your property, this can be a huge problem. Buyers want to know that they can use their property with no worry that part of it will get taken away at some point or need major work because the county said so. But on top of that, we knew that our 3x margin was for sure gone, and there's no way we would get the $18,000 we wanted out of it. And we really had two options. We could have tried to justify the deal, hoping we'd find a buyer willing to work with us if we just lowered the price a little bit. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's just speculation. It's not really calculated land investing like we're used to. So we did the smart thing. We backed out of the deal before closing with no money spent and no headache. That one neighbor's input who gave us the pictures saved us thousands of dollars. Just an opportunity cost, sure. We may have been able to make money on the property, and I'm sure we would have. It's a cheap price, but in terms of opportunity cost, we know that if there's another property we can get 3x margin on at least, we're going to buy that instead of use money to go hit a 1.5x. And on top of that, there was a lot of risk with the vegetation in the property itself. And because we sold our last property in the subdivision and it was relatively cleared, when we had seen that this one is so wooded and it would be very costly to go and clear the entire lot, we had also decided that that was just another factor that we didn't like, and we just decided to add that on top of the easement when calling the deal off. A couple key takeaways for land investors: local eyes are extremely valuable. Neighbors or even people that you have active seller financing contracts with are most of the time more than willing to go take pictures of a property for you. And I say seller financing contracts, that's more so like if you already have someone living there on a contract from you, and you know that they're like reliable, and because you already have their phone number and everything, most of the time it doesn't hurt because they're only like a couple minutes away generally, and we have used our sort of like tenants in the past to go help us with that sort of thing. Number two, easements will kill a lot of deals and how to spot them. So I mean, regrid, it can be kind of hard to see, or whatever land software you use, but you can always call the county and give them like a parcel ID and they can check for you, or you can just use your local network of neighbors to ask questions, and a lot of the time they'll know an answer for you if it's obvious, like a big gas line on your property. So just use your resources and you'll be able to find an answer. And the last takeaway is to not get too emotional over any land deal that you're going to do. Always trust data and your due diligence over the pressure to close on a property. There are always more deals to come if you have to back out of a deal, and if you are too emotionally attached to your property because you don't have enough deals in your pipeline, that just means you're not doing enough outreach, to be simple. This is why experience and working systems are very crucial in land flipping. Not every deal is going to be a winner, and sometimes you just need to know when to walk away. If you want any more land flipping stories, breakdowns, or any specific tips or tricks, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys have a nice rest of your day, and peace out.